Friends, this is Jitendra and we will be beginning our chapter industries with discussing economic activities. Any activity which is performed by human beings in order to earn money is an economic activity. Economic activities are of three types: primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary activities are those activities which are concerned with nature. Examples are agriculture and allied activities and mining. Secondary activities are those activities which take products from nature and they turn it into valuable products or goods. Example, we take wheat, it is produced from agriculture and then it is grinded into flour, it is a secondary activity, and then it is turned into biscuits by adding more value to that product. Okay, and we have example of taking various ores and producing different minerals and metals. Okay. Now we come to tertiary activity. Tertiary activities are those activities in which we have the service sector. That is, various services are provided. For example, banking, nursing, doctors, teaching. You can say insurance sector, transportation of goods, as well as people. These all activities, they come under tertiary activities. In this chapter, we will be more concerned with secondary and tertiary activities. Okay, now we discuss what is industry. Industry refers to economic activity that is concerned with production of goods. Okay, it comes under the secondary activity. Extractions of minerals that I discussed in the earlier slide, it also comes under the secondary activity. The third one is provision of providing services like tourism, hospitality, information technology. Okay, so this is what industry is, and in industries more value is added to a product to earn profit. Okay, now we will be discussing the types of industries on various bases. Industries can be classified on the basis of raw materials into four types. First is agro-based, mineral-based, marine-based and forest-based. So agro-based industries are those industries which take their raw materials from agriculture. Here I can give you the example of sugarcane, which comes from agriculture and it is turned into sugar. So sugar industry is a agricultural agro-based industry. Next, mineral-based industries. We have iron and steel industry, where iron ore, which is a mineral, and it is turned into iron and steel. The next one is marine-based industries. In this industry, products from ocean or seas, they are used and turn into new products. For example, we take ocean water and extract salt. This is example of marine-based industry. We have examples of fish oil, etc., etc. The last type of industry in this section is forest-based industry. In this industry, products from forests are used Example, plywood industry, which is based on trees from forest. We have BD industry. Okay, so these are the types of industries divided or classified on the basis of raw materials used. The next classification of industry is on the basis of their size. And size depends upon the money invested, number of people they are working in that industry, and the volume of production. Okay, on this basis, industries are of two types. First is large scale industry, which are huge in size, they work in shifts. Example, iron and steel industry, cement industry, auto industry. In this type of large scale industries, lot of people are employed, they produce huge amounts of product and lot of money is involved. So on the basis of size, the next industry is small scale industry. In this industry, the capital investment or the money invested is very small, production is small, and mostly family members are involved in the production. Example of this type of industries are artisans working at their home, producing handicrafts, small cottage industries from home, and production of papad, or you can say pickles at home. They all come under small scale industry. The next classification of industries is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, industries are normally divided into four types. Okay. The first one is private industries. In this type, the ownership is in the hand of private people. For example, we have Mahindras, Tatas, Reliance. These are all private sector industries. The next one in this type is public sector or the state-owned industry. In this industry, the ownership lies in the hands of government. That is, all the money involved, all the capital involved in this industry comes from government, and government gets that money from public by mode of taxes. That's why this sector is known as public sector or state-owned industries. The next type of industry in this section is joint sector industries. In this type, the ownership is in the hands of both government as well as private people. And example is, you can see Maruti. This is a joint sector industry. The last type in this section is cooperative industry. In cooperative sector, people, they make a group and work from that group to produce various products. The best example of a cooperative sector industry is Amul, okay, which is a milk society. So this slide, it shows all the types of industries and the basis of classification of those industries, which have been explained by me in the past slides. Okay, so it shows agro-based, mineral-based, marine-based, forest-based on the basis of raw material. It shows small scale, large scale on the basis of size, and it shows private public joint cooperative industries on the basis of ownership. So this is the three-way classification on three bases, that is raw material, size and ownership. So this is our new slide, and here we will be discussing the factors which influence the location of an industry. Like if someone wants to establish a new industry, he must take care of various factors, and those factors are locational factors, so that his industry, it runs into profit. Okay. The first thing which every person must take care about the location of industry is the policies of government. Okay, government has various policies to subsidize the growth of industries in some areas. And in some areas, government does not want that industries are established. Why? Because they must be near population, or there are environmental concerns. Okay. Next important factor which impacts the location of industry is transportation. The place where an industry is established must be well connected with transportation. It should be connected with better road, rail and port network in the vicinity, because these things, they aid the industry in being profitable. Okay, and selling their produced goods as well as bringing the raw materials. The next factor is availability of land. If land is available at cheaper prices, then and it is plain area, then establishment of industry would be suitable at that place, because it controls other costs such as leveling of land, etc. Factor which controls the location of an industry is power. There should be 24 hours electricity, or you can say power supply from coal to that industry. And if the power source is coal, it should be near. Fine, so that the costs are kept low. Next thing we should be concerned about is raw materials. Raw materials should be available nearby. Okay, this also helps in better performance of the industry. Labor, it should be cheap and readily available. Both skilled and unskilled labor should be available nearby. Okay, so that the industry can function in a proper way. For establishing any industry, a person requires to have capital. So this is one of the important factors. If there is no capital available, then industry can't be established. One more important locational factor is of market. If markets are available nearby, then the products can be sold easily. Okay, so these are the locational factors which are very important and should be looked after before establishing any industry. In this slide, we will be discussing industrial regions. Now, what is an industrial region? When there are number of industries, they are located close to each other and share benefits of closeness, then that area is known as an industrial region. Major industrial regions, they are located in the temperate regions nearby coal mines and near the ports or near the seas. Okay, the major industrial regions of the world are North American region, Eastern, Western and Central European region and East Asian region. These are the major industrialized areas in the world. Now we will be discussing industrial clusters or regions in India. The first one is Mumbai, Pune. Second one is Bangalore, Tamil Nadu. Third is Ahmedabad, Vadodara. Chota Nagpur belt, which is very important due to the mineral based industries. The next one is Vishakhapatnam, Guntur area. Gurgaon, Delhi, Meerut region. Kovalam, Thiruvananthapuram structure. And the last one is Kolkata, Hooghly region. These are the major industrial regions of India. So this is our next slide, and in this slide we will be discussing industrial disasters. Whenever there is an accident in an industry that causes loss of property as well as human beings, it is known as industrial disaster. We would be taking example of Bhopal gas tragedy, which took place on 3rd December 1984. There was a plant of a company named Union Carbide, and there was an explosion in the gas tank, and the gas which leaked out was methyl isocyanide, and it caused tremendous damage of both public life as well as to the industry. The next example is an industrial accident in China which resulted in the deaths of round about 9,000 lives. And there is a recent example of an industrial accident in Vishakhapatnam. So we must work to reduce these accidents or disasters, and for that there are many procedures which should be followed, and these are those procedures which work in the prevention of industrial disasters. The first point which we will be discussing is that the location of industry should be away from the residential areas or the populated areas. Okay, so that there is no damage to the lives whenever industrial disaster it happens. And moreover, the people who reside in those areas, they must know about the mock drills which they must perform during an industrial disaster. So these mock drill awareness should be developed among the people who are residing nearby. The next thing which must be taken care of is that there should be firefighting systems placed in that area as well as in that industry. This will stop the fire accidents which can take place in an industry. There should be a limit on the toxins which are produced by industries, and stored. Large quantities of these toxins should not be stored in the industries. Okay, this the government must regulate. There should be strict application of various environmental pollution laws on these industries so that these industries they do not harm the environment. Regular checkups must be done by the various environmental departments of the government in order to curb the pollution by these industries. In this chapter, we are concerned with the distribution of iron and steel industry, textile industry, and information technology industry. The most old industry is textile industry, and the recent industry which is being developed, which is also called a sunrise industry, is information technology industry. So we will be discussing location of these industries in various places, okay, at world level as well as at the level of India. First, we will be discussing iron and steel industry in India, and the example would be Tata Iron and Steel, that is TISCO, which is located at Jamshedpur in India. This began before independence in 1907 at a place called Sakchi on the banks of river Swarnrekha and Kharkai. Okay, and later on that city Sakchi was named as Jamshedpur. It is 32 kilometers from a railway station which is known as Kalamati. This location is close to iron ore, manganese and port at Kolkata. Coal is received from Jharia and iron ore, limestone, dolomite, manganese from Orissa, Chhattisgarh, water from both the rivers. So, TISCO was established even before all the government steel factories in India. At world level, we will be knowing about a city called Pittsburgh, which is located in USA. It is known as the Steel City. Okay, it has an ideal location where it gets coal locally. Iron ore comes from Minnesota. There is cheap shipping route available from the Great Lakes waterway. Okay, this city receives water from Ohio River, Monongahela and Allegheny rivers. This area has now developed lot of other industries which are dependent on iron and steel. The first cotton textile industry which was established in India was at Mumbai in 1854, and the second cotton textile mill which was established in India was at Ahmedabad in 1859, which was successful. Earlier it was Mumbai, but Ahmedabad emerged as a major cotton textile manufacturing center, and thus it was known as Manchester of India. It had cheap labor available and raw materials were available from the black soil cultivating areas in the surroundings. Moist and warm climate was there, which aided in the spinning and weaving of the textiles. Okay. Recently, due to obsolete and old machinery, Ahmedabad's production has decreased and new centers have emerged. Osaka is a city in Japan. It is known as Manchester of Japan. It has extensive plain areas which aid establishment of cotton textile mills. Warm humid climate help in spinning and weaving. Water is available from Yodo River. Location of ports help in import and export of textiles. Cotton is imported by Japan from Egypt, India, China, USA, and it is one of the largest exporters of the textiles. Recently, the textile mills have been replaced by machineries, shipbuilding, iron and steel, automobile, electrical equipment, and cement industry at Osaka. The next industry which we will be discussing is information technology industry. It is a sunrise industry, that is, this industry is of recent development. There are two important centers which we will be studying. One is Bangalore, it is located in Karnataka, India, and the next is California, USA. Both are very big centers of information technology. At Bangalore, most of the work is done for exports. There are lot of BPOs functioning in India. Silicon Valley, California and Bangalore have similar climate. It is neither warm nor cold, and the manpower is skilled with these skills or the managerial skills. Iron and steel industry is known as the backbone of modern industry because its products are used in various industries, and the machines which are used by other industries are also produced by the products of iron and steel industry. Because of the use of products of iron and steel industry in almost all the sectors like infrastructure, machinery, automobile, everywhere the products of iron and steel industry are utilized. That's why this industry is known as the backbone of modern industry. Okay, now I would be explaining you how 1 ton of iron or steel is obtained. It is obtained by adding 8 tons of coal, 4 tons of iron and 1 ton of limestone, and they are heated in a blast furnace. Okay, then we get 1 ton of iron and rest remaining impurities are called slag. This is how we get 1 ton of iron. Copper, nickel, aluminium can be added to iron and steel, and the hardness or lightness is improved in iron, and these materials are known as alloys. With this, we come to ending of this slideshow. I would like to give special thanks to Mr. Sunil Rota sir, TGT SST, for his valuable help.